You weren't scared at all or think twice about starting your journey with that, with voice narration?
No, I had money on my mind. I was like, I gotta get this book done. I need a passive income, because when you get that contract is 7 years. So they're paying you every month. I'm getting checks.
And what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Nikki, back at you, coming in with a quick update, because I know a lot of you have subscribed to my channel because you were interested in my audiobook narration journey. And as of the date of this filming of this video, I was just on a podcast that dropped today where I talked about audiobook narration. Now, the podcast is called Define Your Legacy. So it's a great finance podcast to just tell you about different ways that people have been getting by when it comes to making money, as well as financial advice. All kinds of good stuff is happening over there. So on the podcast, I was asked about me, my brands, basically what I do here on YouTube, as well as my other platforms like my website, dealfundingdiva.com. But the conversation ended up going into audiobook narration, and that is where we spent a lot of time. I think he did this on purpose. So for those of you that were interested in my audiobook narration journey, I decided to film this update and just let you know, number one, that podcast is out, because a lot of things have come up in that podcast about audiobook narration, or about me in general, about my journey with audiobook narration, that I necessarily haven't spoken about on this channel. So wherever you have access to podcasts, I highly suggest that you head on over to Define Your Legacy and go listen to my podcast. So again, if you like this channel, you're definitely going to like Define Your Legacy, because you know how we do over here. We talk about making money and saving money. So that is one great platform he has over there. To just give you an update about my audiobook narration journey. So in case you're not familiar, just a quick rundown, because I know some people might get tired of that story. But long story short, I decided to try audiobook narration through a platform called ACX. It's acx.com. It's free to use, and you can go on there and basically earn a passive income for auditioning for books. And if you get an audition, basically you're reading the books, you're narrating for these books. I had one audition, my very first audition that I did over on that platform. I ended up with not one, not two, but 3 audiobook contracts. It was a long journey because I had never ever done anything like that before. And so I learned a lot along the way. And to help you all out, because I know a lot of you are going to ask, like, what equipment do you use when it comes to audiobook narration? And in that podcast, Define Your Legacy, I speak about audiobook narration in entirety, pretty much, where I talk about everything from equipment to platforms that I use, as well as how payments work. All that good stuff is in that podcast. So make sure you listen to that podcast when you're like driving along, because it's a great long podcast. It's about 1 hour and 10 minutes. But we were talking about a lot of good stuff in that podcast that you could find helpful and you can listen to on the go. Now, when it comes to my audiobook narration journey, basically I had those 3 audiobooks. So the first one was called Lil Red Ryder and Urban Fairytale. That was the first one. The second one that I did was called $1 Billion Baddie. And then the author got me to do $1 Billion Baddie 2. So $1 Billion Baddie 2 was the last audiobook that I did. And for those of you that aren't familiar with audiobook narration and actually making money from that, basically the contract that I got is one where I earn royalties. So every month I get checks from ACX, which is a subsidiary of Amazon. So I can earn these checks, and I'm wondering why this dude has a ladder outside my window. Okay. Hold up, y'all. Okay. All right. Back to business. Okay, he's going to my neighbor's house. I'm like, oh, do I have to go get my... Yeah, but anyway, so the contract that I got is a royalty contract. So I didn't get paid up front, but when people buy the books that I've created, the audiobooks that I've created, then I get checks every month from people buying that. And I'm going to link all of my books down below if you want to support your girl. I would appreciate it. And if you are going to get into audiobook narration, or if you're interested in it, it is very helpful to listen to audiobooks. So you can start with mine. All right. I did those 3 audiobooks. So where am I now? I am basically going to let those 3 books ride. Okay. I'm going to focus right now on teaching you all how to do audiobook narration, basically helping you answer some of the questions that you may have. And if you do have questions, feel free to drop them down below. But yeah, I'm going to focus on helping other people right now. And just basically continuing to be authentic with you all, because I know some people like things sugar coated, but here on this channel, you're not going to get that. I'm going to tell you the real when it comes to audiobook narration, as well as I do have an audiobook narration course coming out. I'm going to announce very soon the pre-sale of my audiobook narration course, and it would help me right now if you could drop a comment and let me know if you're interested in audiobook narration course, okay? Because I really want to gauge like what you all want, you know, any questions that you have or anything that you want me to include in the course. That's also helpful as well. So yeah, make sure you all give me as much feedback as possible, because I vibe off of y'all. We here, y'all. Yeah, so with that, all of the equipment that I use in my audiobook narration journey, like everything that I've used, like basically the good stuff, okay? I drop those links under every audiobook narration video. So yeah, those links will be down there. I'm also going to drop the link to my Amazon page. So I have an Amazon page over on Amazon, of course, where you can see the images of all of that equipment that I mentioned, as well as some alternative options for people that don't want to spend as much money on a microphone. Like here's my Shure microphone right here. As you can see, I still use this, okay? Both of these things here, the pop filter, the microphone, all of that is linked down below. But also on my Amazon influencer page, you can check out all of that equipment, see the images, see how much they cost. All that good stuff is right there in your face. I'm not going to run on and on about this. I just wanted to fill you all in and let you know where I'm at right now, because I know some people are still like wondering like, well, what are you doing with this audiobook narration thing? Okay, I'm going to help you all right now. All right. So yeah, that's what I'm focusing on right now. And feel free, if you have any questions or comments, please drop them down below. That's what I'm here for, as well as over on Instagram at Deal Finding Diva. You can go over there and ask me any questions that you may have. So yeah, just send me a DM if you have any questions. But yeah, with that said, I am going to peace out in this video. Don't forget, give me any feedback that you may have, any questions, comments, anything that you have about audiobook narration, and we can discuss it down in the comments, y'all. All right, y'all, I will see you in the next video. Bye.